There's a couple things I'd like to speak about in this video regarding Facebook ad mistakes that we see happen all the time in Facebook ad accounts. What a beautiful day. For those of you that don't know, we are one of the top agencies in London, hence why we can afford such an office. I'm only joking. Anyways, this video is about one of the four mistakes I've got written down in a doc on things that we always see when we go into ad accounts, and the brands working with another agency, they're getting bad results, and we notice these four things which I'm going to run through. We recently started with a brand, and the first month we made 50k. I'll actually show you. Let me show you the proof. People are liking the comments. It's not a crazy amount, but the brand was just scraping 15k, and we got behind their ad account. And last 30 days, 49k. If I reload the screen, so people know it's real. So it's quite clear, we know what we're talking about, because the first month we're already at 50k. I reckon we can do at least 100k, and this is the brand's first ever month passing their biggest month, which was 25k. So yeah, let me dive into my screen and go through this stuff. The first thing we notice is you're spreading your budget way too thin. Too many ad sets or creators with not enough budget means they don't get a fair test. Meta needs data to optimize. If you're spreading your budget, if you're spending $50 across 6 ad sets, you're not getting the most out of learning phase. So we have a rule of thumb is having at least $20 to $30 a day per ad set or per creative that you're testing. So if you've got one ad set that has one creative inside of the ad set, then you want to have at least $20 or $30, at least a minimum. Depending on your price point, you want it to be higher. It can go up to $50 per actual ad. And if you've got 6 ad sets and you've got or if you've got one ad set, just to keep it easier to understand, if you've got one ad set and you've got 3 ads in there, you want to have that ad set at least $60, so that we have $20 to spend on each one, depending on how Meta optimizes that ad set. There's too many brands where they have 5 or 10 different ads within one ad set, and you've got $20 a day on an ad. It's what the fuck? It's you need to have, you can't be spending $1 to $2 a day on 10 different creatives because you want to test loads of creatives. But the thing is, you just need to accept the reality that your budget isn't big enough to be running that many creatives, and you need to focus on the very, very low hanging fruit at that point in the budget stage, that being your best selling products, the content that performs really well organically for that product, the best type of content is UGC studio content that works for your brand, etc. And then having $20 a day and then one ad at least, at a maximum in that ad set, essentially. That's the first thing. Because if you're spreading it too thin and then it ends up spending $5 a day for each ad, especially with ad cost rising, it's just not going to work. So just focus on the lowest hanging fruit and testing less, running less ads that have more spend. That way you can get data back quicker on whether it's going to work or not, and you can move on to the next one quicker. So otherwise, just running ads, spending low budget, and you're just going to waste a lot of time and money, and you won't be able to optimize your ads much more efficiently than what you would. So just make sure you focus on your best seller. It just depends on your budget, but we're just saying this as if you had a small budget of $100 a day. You want to make sure you have not loads of creatives running at once, so that we do actually get a good fair test for that creative, because a lot of the ads right now need to be creative dependent. But that's number one. Number two is relying on broad targeting without testing creatives properly. So a lot of brands these days are broad targeting, Advantage Plus targeting, and they rely on it too much, where they don't end up focusing a lot on the creative. And the thing is, Advantage Plus and going broad audiences only work well if your creatives are good. People and agencies just focus too much on just letting these ads run broad. And that does work if you have good data and good foundations, but it won't work if you don't have a good creative strategy, being you know what type of content is going to be in this part of the funnel. That being what type of content do you want to be pushing in front of new customers to see your brand. So that's the first touch point. So that could be, you want UGC to be in that point of the funnel. You want studio content to be in that funnel, but then what type of studio content, what type of wording, what type of angles, what type of hooks do you want to be in that content? And then that's where you need to be focusing on testing those elements. So that could be, let's write this down. So we have hooks, angles, and what we mean by angles is you can have like 5 ads, right? The image is the exact same. The ad copy can be the exact same, but the actual wording on the graphic, if you have a graphic designer, can be like 5 different wordings. And that way you know what's triggering customers, what type of wording is triggering customers to go ahead and buy that product. But we only use that sort of testing method once we identify a winning creative, essentially. Because once you know the winning creative and you want to rerun the ads with different angles, you know whatever's going to perform well out of those 5 angles. It's not because the creative is good, because you know it's like the creative's already a winner, but it's because the angle is different. And then that way you can incorporate all of the different angles across all of your other ads, and then your ROAS of the ad account increases overall. So hooks, angles, ad copy. You can do landing pages as well. I know it's not really creative focused, but it does really help. A whole bunch of stuff, but we can talk about this in the video. The next one is not using dynamic ads properly. These work so well, especially if you have like at least 10 products. Like, we can't emphasize this enough. Facebook's AI and an AI type of ads, you can say, works so well for our clients right now, because anything that they're engaging with your website, your maybe Instagram, I'm not actually too sure if it helps with Instagram, but it's just anything you engage, well, actually could, because if you like a photo and that photo is tagged, then it does help. But if they're engaging with your website often and they come and they click like 5 products, Facebook will show them those 5 products, and they work so well because it's dynamic to their audience. But what we don't see a lot, people just get lazy with it and they just run it yet again too broad, where you're meant to be doing product sets, okay? So create proper product sets based on our landing pages or collection of pages they're visiting. So if you're a fashion brand and you've got dresses, you've got skirts, you're gonna have a category page and category landing page for like the skirts, the t-shirts, etc. But if someone goes on your website and they click on the t-shirts, right? Then you wanna have a product set where if someone lands on a specific URL, you can show them a dynamic product set where Facebook will create a massive catalog of everything on that page. And then if they click on a certain product, they will get targeted with that. But if they don't, they'll still get targeted with what they think that consumer is going to buy on that landing page based on all of the data that they have from all of their purchases that the previous before got against other brands. Like, Facebook has an ID for every single person on Facebook, and it tracks every single move they do. So anything they buy from another brand, it could be a t-shirt, it could be a jumper. The t-shirt could be pink, right, from another brand. And if they go on the website and they see you have a pink t-shirt, they might target with a pink t-shirt. Like, their AI is so good, but the thing is, people do it too broad. So I really hope I'm making sense here. You just need to make sure you have product sets for each product and also landing pages depending on your budget. And it just works so well because it's even more dynamic than just running a genuine dynamic creative, okay? So for example, if I've got a boots page, we can write ad. Also, the ad copy in the creative we can have for that ad, like, because you can't dynamically change the copy. You can have like a product set for the boots, and in the copy it can say shop your best boots, or like it could be tailored to that product essentially, and have like a discount code for boots only. Like, there's so much you can do, but not a lot of people focus on this. I should really like show the screen on Ads Manager and show how you do this, but I might do this in another video because it's just limited time. Number 4 is not knowing your break-even ROAS. This is fucking so crucial, and a lot of people miss out on this. Like, some brands profit on a 2 ROAS, some brands profit on a 1.5 ROAS. Well, that's kind of impossible, and it's just a digital product. But like, some brands profit on like a 5 ROAS. Anything below a 5 ROAS is just not profitable. And that's just the reality of your brand, okay? That's nothing the marketer can change. But if you know what's profit and what's not, then you will be able to scale. Like, we have a calculator, which I'll show. We can actually read for this, so especially as you scale, the ROAS tends to drop. So that's true. So as you run up your ad spend, your ROAS will tend to drop. It's just natural within all of the ads. Depending on your strategy and who you work with, we can obviously maintain it through our secret strategies. That's a joke. But like, as you do scale up your spend, your ROAS naturally drops. So you want to make sure you are profiting as you scale up. And you wouldn't believe how many brands miss out on this. Like, even the top brands miss out on what their break-even ROAS is. And I'll show the calculator in a second. And also, if you want this, I can give it away. I don't really care. Just comment, I know, the word calculator, and I'll literally just send it to you. Or DM me on Instagram, actually, because I want more followers. I'll drop it in the link. Just DM me the word calculator. So you should have a simple calculator that factors in the product cost, the shipping, and the AdSense transaction fees. So transaction fees can also be the fee that the agency takes, which we also consider within our clients' ad accounts, that it's not just their profit margin, it's the shipping and also the fee that we take, plus any commission. And once you know your break-even ROAS, you'll stop panicking, and when results drop slightly, you'll know when to cut or scale with confidence. So what does a break-even ROAS calculator look like? So I haven't been in this in a while, usually my team does it, but let's just say we have another calculator that calculates all of your product margins, which is much more complex than this. But once you understand your margin, right? Let's say your margin is 50%. This will automatically tell you what your break-even ROAS is. So it's a 2 ROAS at this point. And we don't recommend doing this for gross margin. We recommend just doing it for net margin. So that way, when you run ads, you just are running ads to stay profitable. And that's the main reason you are in business at the end of the day. So we calculate the tax and everything like that. And that usually does bump up the break-even ROAS and make it more difficult for us. But pressure makes diamonds, right? So your ROAS is 2. If you're running an ad and the ad set's at like a 2 ROAS, that's cool. But if you go into the ad and you've got 3 ads in there, in the ad set, one of the ads could be on a 5 ROAS. That ad is profiting. So then you turn the others off because that's dragging the overall ad set down, which drags the overall campaign ad down. So that's the best way to do it. You can also have this. So like, it also tells you like ad spend if it's 20K, if your ROAS is 3, you're basically profiting 10K after that, because times that by 2, it's 40K. That's where you're not profiting. And then you have 60K, and then you have the spend, etc. So this will calculate how much you're profiting, essentially, depending on your ad spend. So we usually show like new potential clients on how much like you need to be spending and making to actually make a profit. But the main part is calculating your break-even ROAS. We set it up so it automatically does everything. So you put in your monthly revenue or whatever you want to do, and then you can have like your margin. Make sure you have a sheet that works out your exact margin. I should maybe include this in this video, but it's very complex. I'll include it in another. But just make sure, find out your exact net margin. You can put it in, let's say your margin's at 85%, which is pretty good. Your break-even ROAS is 1.8. Let's say your break-even ROAS is like 30%, which is like an average for ecom. Your break-even ROAS is 3.3. So every time you see someone showing these fancy numbers, like sometimes they're not even profiting, because 30% is an average margin for ecom. And 3.3 ROAS sounds pretty high, but it actually isn't profiting. So what's the point? Might as well just throw money down the drain. So that's why we like to look at this heavily, because if you're spending 20K and we're getting a 3 ROAS, they're negative $2,000 every single month. Whereas if we work on optimizing your ads based on all of these mistakes and all of the other mistakes that we see, you want to aim for like at least 4 to 5. 5 ROAS is 10K profit. So as you scale up, you want to make sure you are maintaining that ROAS. But basically, the main point of this part is just to understand your break-even ROAS so you know you are profiting, essentially. So yeah, hope you found value in this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.